Meet the Insta360 GO3S, the latest in the Insta360 lineup. It's an upgrade from the GO3, packing more power into just 35 grams and the size of your thumb. These wearable tiny cameras are loved for their simple design and incredible versatility. With endless magnetic mounting options, you can capture the coolest POV shots. Small, discreet, magnetic, lightweight, and versatile, the GO3S and GO3 are must-haves for creators wanting to enhance their content. In this video, we'll compare both devices to explore the improvements in the latest model and determine if upgrading is truly worthwhile. Hey, I'm Olive, your host here at Versus.com, and for this video, we've teamed up with Insta360 to bring you this comparison. As always though, we'll provide you with our honest opinions on everything. Let's dive in, beginning with one of the most crucial aspects, video quality. The biggest difference between the two is that the new GO3S can now shoot in 4K, whereas the GO3 can only shoot up to 2.7K. According to Insta360, the latest model has a 50% faster processor. And as you can clearly see when we zoom in, there is a visible difference in quality and the GO3S looks much better. This is a massive game changer, and in a moment we will show you a few more examples. The new lens in the GO3S generally reduces the FOV a little, therefore a new mode has been added for this, the Mega View FOV. Mega View is almost as wide as the standard FOV mode ultra wide, but has less distortion. So it's a very practical idea from Insta360. As you can clearly see, the new GO3S has improved video quality, not only because of its 4K capabilities, but also because it has a bitrate of 120, whereas the GO3 has a bitrate of only 80. Thanks to the improved performance of the processor, the dynamic range is also significantly better in the footage. Furthermore, the GO3S is maintaining better exposure throughout and ensuring areas are not overexposed, which would otherwise lose a lot of detail, particularly in the sky and reflections in the water, as seen with the GO3. The GO3S also offers a much better balance of shadows and contrast, which is really nice to see. The GO3S also has enhanced color accuracy, making it more true to life. For instance, my skin tone looks much better with the GO3S, while the GO3 made it appear slightly washed out. The GO3S does a great job of ensuring that the overall colors are very authentic and true to life. Now, this doesn't mean that the video quality of the GO3 is terrible. It may still be sufficient for some users. However, it's clear that the newest GO3S has received a significant upgrade and looks fantastic. Now let's move on to another very important factor, audio quality. Have there been any major improvements? Let's find out. Let's start over here with the Insta360 GO3. How am I sounding over here? Some of you may be already familiar with the audio coming from this camera, but let's move on to the latest and newest Insta360 GO3S. Has the audio improved at all? What do we think? I'm quite excited to review these, and we'll discuss them in just a moment. Wow, okay, there has definitely been a massive improvement in audio quality, and I have to say, I'm actually very impressed. The difference is huge. It's great to see that the GO3S has received significant upgrades, resulting in crystal clear, super smooth audio with excellent noise cancellation capabilities. Next step, stabilization, an extremely crucial part for your videos. Let's check out this little clip I filmed where I started off with standard stabilization. So now you guys, we are testing out the stabilization abilities on both of these devices. So we've just set them to standard stabilization first, and I'm just having a brisk walk around this gorgeous forest. What do we think? How is it stabilizing the video? Stabilization is so important when it comes to your camera because you want to have the smoothest footage possible in order to not cause headaches for your viewers, but also so that people can see things clearly. Yeah, what do we think? I've got to say that both of the devices have pretty smooth standard stabilization, and I wouldn't say that there are any major differences. The GO3 was already very impressive, so it's good to see that the GO3S has maintained that buttery smooth stabilization we expect to have. Now let's take a look at a couple of other modes that are offered, such as high stabilization, which is suitable for situations where there is more intense movement like faster walking or light jogging. I've got to say that the GO3 actually looks a tad smoother here, whereas the GO3S has a slight more bobbing up and down. In any case, both footages are totally usable, but this was an interesting discovery. Lastly, you have the option of max stabilization, which is good for more vigorous activities such as intense running or even mountain mountain biking. In our example where Max is playing with a football, both devices have managed the stabilization pretty well, although he is shaking the camera quite a bit, and I can't see any major differences. Nevertheless, it's impressive how well these tiny devices can stabilize footage. Slow-mo is for sure a cool feature to have and can be very useful to some users, so let's move on to the device's slow motion capabilities. The Insta360 GO3 can record up to 120 FPS in 1080p, whereas the new GO3S can shoot in up to 2.7K at a maximum of 100 FPS. It also offers 200 FPS in 1080p, providing a cool option for any slow motion enthusiasts out there. So depending on how important slow motion capabilities are for your video projects, you may be pleased to know that there have been upgrades in this area. You might want to use your device not just for videos, but also for taking photos. Let's explore if there are significant differences between the two when it comes to photography. First and foremost, let's quickly examine the camera specs for each device. The GO3 features a 7-megapixel camera with a maximum resolution of 2560 x 1440 pixels. In comparison, the GO3S is equipped with a 12-megapixel camera capable of reaching a maximum resolution of 4000 x 2250 pixels. Clearly, there have been significant improvements. Now let's delve into a few examples to see if these enhancements translate into noticeable improvements in the final results. Well, I've got to say that the differences are pretty noticeable. Immediately, you can see significant improvements in camera quality with the GO3S. While the image could benefit from a touch more exposure, it has vastly improved compared to the GO3, which appears very underexposed, losing a lot of detail. In the next photo, it's interesting that the GO3 shows some issues with overexposure in the sky, whereas the GO3S captures the moment perfectly. However, I do appreciate the reflection in the water a bit more with the GO3 as it stands out more and is eye-catching. Moving on to another example with me in the frame, I do feel that the GO3S has made improvements in capturing more accurate skin tones. This was also noticeable in videos and also translates well to photos. The image has a warm overall feel with good color accuracy, contrasting with the cooler and dimmer tones of the GO3, which some may prefer though. In our final example, we ventured into a very dark area. Despite the photo appearing quite bright, I assure you the location was not. The GO3S did a good job of exposing both the subject and the surroundings well, whereas the GO3 maintained more of a low light ambience while still adequately exposing the image. Ultimately, it does come down to personal preference and what you aim to achieve with your shot. Now let's move on to some of the AI capabilities that these devices have, which can come in pretty handy when on the go. Both devices have voice control, which is a really useful feature to have as it enables you to control certain camera settings when you're further away from the camera. Some of the options are start recording and stop recording, as well as take a photo and shut down to power off the device. In addition to voice control, the Insta360 GO3S has now been given the gesture control function. To start video recording, all you have to do is face the camera and hold out the palm of your hand. The same movement stops the recording. To take a photo, you have to point the peace sign at the camera and it will give you a couple of seconds before it snaps a photo. This is very practical if you have magnetically attached the camera somewhere and want to start recording at a certain point in time. Another new feature is interval video, which allows the camera to automatically record videos at set intervals. The new tilt fix feature on the Insta360 GO3S ensures the camera automatically compensates for tilt angles by up to 10% during fast movements. In our example, you can clearly see that when the camera tilts, the image remains straight for a while before adjusting to the tilt beyond a certain angle. In contrast, the Insta360 GO3 does not compensate for tilt and quickly becomes slanted. The GO3S has yet another unique feature: compatibility with Apple's Find My feature. By connecting it to your Apple account, you can locate the camera just like an AirTag. This function works even when the camera is turned off, which is pretty cool as long as it has some battery power remaining. Notably, it is the GO3S camera that is located, not the Action Pod. This is particularly useful since the camera is so small and can be easily misplaced. The freedom in free-frame video mode is brilliant. This mode gives you even more possibilities in post-production to adjust the format, use flow state stabilization, or even compensate for the horizon. This mode is perfect for moments when you don't know exactly what format you want the material to be in during recording. Afterwards, the format can be easily adjusted in the Insta360 app or on the computer. One of these standout features of these devices is their ability to attach to any magnetic surface or be worn on a special magnetic necklace that comes with the device. This allows for capturing super distinctive POV shots. Additionally, the camera's compact size enables you to place it in tiny spaces like my handbag, for example, allowing for unique and stylish videos. Let's take a quick look at the design and see if there have been any changes. So as you can see, the design of the new Insta360 GO3S hasn't changed much. It closely resembles its predecessor. The main difference is the camera's casing, which is now ribbed rather than smooth. The overall format remains nearly identical, with the camera only being 1.6 millimeters thicker. Both models are also available in black or white. Finally, let's take a closer look at the battery and pricing, as those are key factors when deciding which device is best for you. The battery capacity of the Insta360 GO3S remains unchanged from its predecessor, with both cameras featuring a 310 mAh battery for the camera and a 1270 mAh battery for the action pod. However, the battery life of the GO3S is slightly shorter due to its higher resolution and more powerful processor. Despite this, it still offers ample time to capture special moments. So to be a little bit more precise, the GO3S is capable of shooting up to 140 minutes at 1080p 30 FPS when paired with the action pod, compared to the GO3's 170 minutes under the same conditions. Both cameras come with permanently integrated memory, affecting their pricing. The GO3S is available in 64 GB for $399.99 and 128 GB for $429.99, while the GO3 also has those options, plus it also has 32 GB for $379.99. So that basically sums up these two devices and their major differences. We personally feel that the GO3S has had some significant changes that are definitely worth upgrading for, especially if you're someone who is seeking 4K video quality. Of course, the battery may not last as long then, but losing around 30 minutes of shoot time is worth it when you know you'll be receiving top quality photos, videos, and crisp audio. The crazy part is that there is actually no change in price between the older model and the newer model, so whichever one you choose, you will pay the same. The first 30 orders will receive a free GO3S carry case as a special gift through our affiliate link. Let us know your thoughts and which one you would go for. As always, give this video a big like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to be a part of our Versus.com community if you aren't already. With that being said, we will see you in the next video, and until then, take care.